My name is Shelly Maxwell, and I'm a counselor here with the Ascension, Wisconsin EAP services that we provide to you all. And I'm also a registered yoga instructor and teach here in town. We've been doing these R&R sessions for a number of years. We started it during COVID when we were all homebound, and it's stuck. So I'm glad you all are joining us. We work through this in the fashion of taking some time to settle in. So, using some guided imagery and reflection, and then we move into some grounding and deep breathing work, and then into some chair yoga or stretching. And then I usually close with a poem and our send off. So we meet every Wednesday, I should say the first Wednesday of every month from noon to 12:30. And we always use the same Zoom link. So you can always make this a recurring appointment in your schedule. These are also recorded, and you can find our whole library of R&R sessions on the YouTube playlist on our channel. And I have that information on the last slide when we end. So check them out. We also have lots of all of our other presentations, which are fantastic. So there's lots of opportunities and resources on our YouTube channel as well as our website. So it's August. Oh, how are you guys doing? I thought about today, something I've been reflecting on a lot is something my meditation teacher brought up a month or so ago. And it's really stuck with me and been helpful. So I'm hoping to offer it to you all. And I kind of talked about this last month, right? We were talking about the 4th because we met right before the 4th of July. And it was like, what are we going to focus on here? What do we focus on these days? For instance, how is the holiday and its meaning shifted to us or with us over the years? But we're just going to broaden that out a bit today. And today I thought I'd share some pictures of things I've been enjoying. And I have this question for you as well. What have you been enjoying the last couple of months? And take some time here to maybe go through mental, either a catalog or photo, deck of what are some memories or things that have just been really resonating. There's this idea with mindfulness, right? That we slow down, we become more in the moment, and there's many benefits to doing that, but a huge benefit is that we notice what we enjoy. And when we sit in that moment of, oh my gosh, I enjoy this, our life feels fuller. It adds to our quality of life overall. And we also create a chemical process within the body when we really let ourselves enjoy something. Like we sit with it and just really savor it, right? We release a lot of endorphins because we're mammals. We enjoy comfort and security. And there's ways that enjoyment communicates to the brain comfort and security. But also more than that, right? And so we create this beautiful chemical reaction with the body that helps us to feel calmer. Our breathing rate calms, right? Gets deeper. So these are some of my favorite things lately. One is always, and those of you who have joined previous R&Rs, you might remember that I love the pelicans that come to Oshkosh, and I'm right by the river. Last week, I am not exaggerating. There was at least 50 pelicans in the river. I've never seen that before. It's usually when I'm kayaking in Lake Butamort, there's a rookery of the pelicans, and I see a lot there. There's hundreds, but in the river, it was just really neat. They're huge. They're just such big birds and very playful. And so something was swimming in the river. There's only one fisherman. So there's that. And then last night I went out and took pictures. Of course, I always remember to take pictures of my garden after I've cut the flowers. So, but these are some of the blooms that are really prolific right now in my garden. My uncle passed in the spring, and my aunt loves zinnias, and she's always admired my garden. So I sent her zinnia seeds and kept half of them for myself. And I told her, whenever we're tending to our zinnias or enjoying them, for her to know I'm thinking of her and that I hope it, brings her joy. So there's some zinnias in that upper right-hand column, some black-eyed Susans and echinacea, the coneflowers, and then you see a close-up of one of the fancy zinnias we grew and my black-eyed Susans. I had to cut them down because they were encroaching on the air conditioning unit. So time to bring them inside. So I encourage you now, like if you were to share pictures, or moments, what would you share? Okay. And maybe close your eyes and come into that moment of enjoying what you've been enjoying. What we enjoy in the summer might look different from what we enjoy in the fall or the winter, the spring. Okay. And just as important as noting what we enjoy, the flip side to that is noticing what brings us discontent. Discontent is an important messenger. Discontent points to what we enjoy, right? It's saying, I want more of this. I want to bring this more back in my life. But a lot of times we spin our wheels in discontent and go into a different chemical response of lack and not feeling secure, not feeling comfortable. But if we notice the discontent or the expectations that weren't met, if we shift it and say, okay, what is that telling me is important to me? And typically, what's important to me is something that we enjoy. For instance, I was getting the house ready for EAA renters and I was feeling stressed with cleaning. And I said, whoa, 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 what's motivating this stress? Instead of being in this chemical reaction of stress, what's motivating this stress of cleaning the house? And I realized what was motivating me was I really wanted to create a comfortable, enjoyable environment for our renters. I really care about them. And they're spending a lot of money. I want to make sure they feel like it's a good use of their money. And so then I switched and proceeded to clean with that motivation in mind. And then there I'm getting lots of endorphins, right? I felt calm. I felt really happy. I found a lot of enjoyment and contentment in giving to these people I've never met, right? Just kind of been pen pals with online. So also notice maybe what's been bringing discontent and what that might point to in terms of what you prioritize differently next week, today, maybe next summer. Okay. It's just an important messenger to say, okay, this is really important to me. Last year, I missed having so many cut flowers. So what did I do this year? I planted a lot of seeds for zinnias because I love them, right? Um, so we want to try to pivot and learn from the discontentment, if that makes sense. All right. So I brought up this picture, just kind of neutral, but something that is pretty symbolic of summer, especially here in Wisconsin. And we're going to switch now into our grounding and deep breathing. And what you can do is sink a little bit deeper in your chair. Feel the back of your chair, let your weight be held by the chair. Sink your weight of the body into the chair. And make sure that both feet are planted on the floor. You might kick your shoes off and enjoy that sensation of the feet resting and come into a soft gaze. And what I mean by that is that you just let your eyelids gently rest. And it might be gazing at this image through softly parted eyelids through the eyelashes. But just, or you might close your eyes completely, which is fine. But come to rest the eyes. There's a lot of weight in the eyes if you think about it. A lot of responsibility we put on the eyes, the eye sockets. Soften that area, as well as soften the area around your forehead, between the eyebrows and the temples, and then move down through the jaw. The jaw and the mouth, the tongue, they carry a lot of responsibility too, especially when we're at work. The ears, maybe. I know my ears do a lot of work during the day with my clients. Our throats, so the front of the neck, the sides of the neck, the back of the neck. And let this softness carry down through your shoulders, down through the arms, through the elbows, the forearms and the wrists, the palms, the fingers all the way down to the fingertips. And just notice this. Enjoy the softness. Enjoy the stillness in this moment and what it took for you to be here. Enjoy that you made that effort, that you made that intention. And notice how enjoyment brings us to a place of gratitude even. Good. Bringing this energy, following it back up through the arms, into the chest, to the heart center. Bring awareness to the front of the heart, the higher heart, up just below the collarbones, and then the lower heart, the bottom of the heart that rests by the sternum. Think about the back of the heart, protected by your shoulder blades. We have those scapula wings that open and close, similar to like a butterfly even. And then travel down, softening the ribs, the side bodies, the upper abdomen, the lower abdomen, the navel center. Notice the rise and fall of the belly. And maybe note what's motivating your breath. What motivates us to breathe? It's not a conscious motivation, but it's an energy, a force, right? You could call it life force. And this life force is pulsing in everything living in our planet and in our universe. It's very subtle, but when we come into mindful awareness of this pulsation, it can actually feel quite strong. Good. Now notice down through the pelvic bowl, the root lock around the perineum, the groin, the hips, the thighs. Think about the top of the thighs, the quads, and the back of the thighs, the hamstrings. Release them. They carry a lot of weight. The outer hips as well as the inner hips. Good. Now travel down the legs. Bring the softness down through the knees, down through the lower legs, the ankles, to the bottoms of the feet as the soles of your feet rest. So much weight that our soles of our feet experience. Notice the heels, the outer edges of your feet, the balls of the feet, that pillowy cushion before we reach the toes. You might wiggle your toes a bit. Maybe see if you can find a sense of enjoyment in wiggling the toes and all the places our toes have wiggled. In bed, when we're all cozy, in the sand maybe, in the water, the soil. Okay. And bring awareness to the inner arches of your feet, the lift. And maybe one arch is lower on one foot than the other. You notice that. And then travel back up through the ankles, from the ankles to the knees to the hips up the spine. Think of the back of the spine, the sides of the spine, each side. Notice the hug here around the spine. And lastly, coming up in the front of the spine, right through the center of you. Find this long line of energy and awareness up through the neck to the base of the skull. Soften the mind, soften the brain. Just let it slink back to the back of your skull. If your eyes aren't closed already, you might take this moment if you feel safe and secure. Notice that and trust. And maybe enjoy the ability to trust this moment and the safety and security in this moment. And then with a nice deep inhale, sigh it out, maybe out through the mouth. Another sigh, breathing it in through the nose, letting the belly fill, and exhale out through the mouth, sighing. Ah, good. Keeping that deep breath, but breathing through the nose, inhale and exhale. Another deep breath in and out. One more time, inhaling and out. And keeping this motion, using this diaphragmatic breath, and hopefully it's your natural breath at this point that the belly expands with the inhale and comes in on the exhale. That's what's stimulating the vagus nerve, part of your parasympathetic system. It's part of this whole endorphin release that feels so good. And I'll share with you, I shared this after spring break. I think it was in April R&R. I was on vacation and did a yoga class, and it was in Mexico. And so the prompts were inhalo, exhalo, inhalo, exhalo. And every once in a while that comes into my mind is just a really beautiful moment to remember. And savor, you could think of this as the nectar, right? When we come into this soft place, this safe place, this still and serene moment, there's a nectar to it, or when you think of like honey, a sweetness, and enjoy that. Good. Now we're gonna start to transition into some of our chair yoga. And so you can keep your eyes closed for now and rub your hands together. We're going to be bringing warmth to the palms, and you might bring your palms over your eyes just so you can let some light in and gently open your eyes. So there's that continued softness and ease. Right? And think about why you're doing this, what motivates you to do this. Good. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing for a moment so you all could see me better. I'm going to scoot out and give myself some room. We're going to start out with some cat-cow. And so you might find it easier to come to the top of your chair, and your hands could be resting on your lap. And we'll first come into a cow pose. So the inhale, and our chin comes forward, the heart comes forward, our tailbone tilts back, and you bring the shoulder blades together. And then when you're ready to release with the exhale, reverse it. So hug that navel center in. Let the tailbone curve towards the knees. Hug that navel center in and bring the front shoulders in towards each other. Yeah, you can even bring your elbows into it. Really squeeze it. Or inhale. Let's bring it forward. Really deep and soft. And exhale. Release it out. Just waking up the spine here. Let's do that again. Inhale. Deep inhale. Exhale out. Fabulous. Okay. And then we're going to interlace our fingers and press the palms forward, really stretch them out. Engage that navel center, and then bring the arms up overhead. Press the palms to the ceiling a little bit more and make sure to keep that chin tucked. The tailbone is lightly tucked, so you have that long line. Good. And then float the arms down with your exhale. Inhale, sweep the arms up, palms facing each other. Maybe they come to touch at the top. And then we're going to exhale down. Now bend the elbows and squeeze them in. So you're squeezing between the shoulder blades and you're engaging that navel center. Okay, stay long and stitch those front ribs together, lengthen through the front of the spine. And then we're just going to crisscross the arms and you're going to bring some releases up along the spine as you crisscross the hands in front and gradually lower the arms each time. Okay, but whenever you come back, those elbows are pressing back, and you're going to find a nice release along the upper back, that cervical spine, through the thoracic, the middle back. Okay, we got into the lumbar spine a bit with those cat-cows. Good. Now bring your hands back to rest, soften them on your lap, and do some shoulder rolls here. Mm. It's amazing how even subtle movements like this can bring such pleasure, such release in reverse direction. Enjoy this. If you're feeling sharp pain, do not do it as extensively. Back off. Your body's communicating to you. Okay, good job. All right, let's bring our arms back out and we're going to sweep the right arm under the left. Okay, and we're just going to pulse the arms up and down. Notice how you need to use your core here, the navel center, to keep you long in the back. Good. Now reverse. So now the left arm comes underneath. This is eagle arms. Bring your breath in. Just pulsing up and down gently. If your hands don't touch, you can always grab the thumb or press the tops of the hands together. You can also always cross the arms in a hug and lift your elbows. Good. Now bring the arms back down. We're going to do that again, but we're going to bring the legs into it. So if it's available to you, cross your right ankle over the left leg, just above the knee. The left foot is planted on the floor. And you don't need to pressure that knee to fall out. Just let it be where it is. Okay. And then we're going to cross those arms again. Right comes under left. So whether you're hugging your shoulders, pressing, or coming into the full eagle. And we're just going to pulse here again. Close your eyes maybe and imagine the arms following this line. Okay. So that you keep that alignment. And see if you can go a little bit deeper with the lift and maybe a little bit deeper with the exhale, hugging it in. Inhale and exhale. Good. Now release the hands, keep your foot where it is, but hug that right knee in now. And clasp around the lower leg if that's available to you and hug it in and pulse. We're going to do this 3 times. And then come to rest. And then we're going to pulse again, but this time we're going to make it deeper. We're going to bring the shoulders up to the ears. So we're going to exhale, bring it up, and inhale. Or actually, let's do that opposite. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, release, let it out. Inhale, and release it out. Yeah. Now plant that right foot next to the left. Close your eyes maybe, and just notice what feels good right now. Good. Now let's switch. So the right foot stays planted, cross that left ankle over the right leg. Maybe just sit here for a moment. And then we're going to bring those arms. The left now comes under the right. Any variation that feels best. You could also cross ankles. Crossing ankles is actually going to work your core a lot more, and you're not going to get into the hip as much, but do what's available. Okay. And we're going to pulse. And here you can make it a little bit deeper where you might bring in a little bit more back bend and notice the sits bones assisting here. And then on your exhale, you might curl it in like you're in cat pose. Do this a couple of times. Good. Come back to center, release the hands, hug that left knee into the body. It's going to be coming towards that left shoulder, maybe. And on your inhale, shrug the shoulders up to the ears, and exhale, drop them. Inhale, exhale, drop them. Good. One more time. Make it count. Oh, exhale it out. Plant the left foot next to the right. Maybe scoot back a bit and just savor the moment here. Enjoy it. You might notice some bubbly sensations, the increased blood circulation, everything's opened up because it's feeling safe. We don't have to be in this stress response of where our blood vessels constrict and prepare for blood loss. So everything's open, all is good. Now lift that right leg and flex the foot. Press the heel to the wall in front of you, engage the lower abdominals, and then rotate the ankle. Reverse direction. Point and flex the foot. Again, these subtle movements, don't underestimate them. And these are so easy to do at your desk on your own. Good. Now swirl the toes, like make a U shape with your toes, working into the ankle a little bit more. Good. Press through the heel again. Curl the toes towards you. Good. And release the right foot back down and lift the left leg. Press the heel towards the wall in front of you. Curl the toes. Rotate the ankle. Our joints need this kind of love and attention. Keeps them lubricated, reverse direction. Good. Come to flex again and then make maybe the smiley face with your toes. Back and forth, back and forth. Come to center, flex the foot again, curl the toes a little bit further towards you, and then release it out. Good. And now is our time to slump in our chairs, coming into like a mini Shavasana. So use the poorest posture you can. So be that 8-year-old who just wanted to slump at the dinner table and we were told to sit up straight. And so you might rest your head back on your chair, let the arms sprawl, maybe be a little bit spread eagle. Just melt into this moment. Ah. So good. So good. And while you do that and continue to rest for a moment, I'm going to share a poem with you. And if I can find, oh, there we go. Okay. All right. So this poem was written by an 11-year-old, and it's called Summer. The warmth on my skin, the heat on my face, humidity in the air, the sweat after a race. Longer days with fun and joy is what summer brings. The sky is a brilliant shade of blue, and so many more things. The cold, tingly feeling of the pool as our skin gives a sigh of relief. Our minds thinking of the lazy days when nobody is in grief. The sun shines merrily above the horizon, sharing its heat and light. A smile on everybody's face as our hearts are filled with delight. And that was written by Harshita Das. And I just shared some pictures of some lovely smiles of kiddos enjoying that warmth and the cool water. And I hope this was a moment for you all to really enjoy and experience summer even here on our computers inside. So next month. I hope you can join us. We're going to be meeting again September like we always do, the first Wednesday of September from 12 to 12:30. If any of you are collecting wellness points, you can use the keyword enjoy. And here's our contact information. So it's best to really, if you want to get in contact to consult or schedule an appointment, you can do so by calling our 1-800 number or emailing. And then looking for resources, you can find us our website online as well as our YouTube channel. When you search on YouTube, it would be under Ascension, Wisconsin EAP. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm so pleased that you came today, and we look forward to seeing you next month.